you from the burbs, make some noise right now. All right, all right, all right. If you from up north, make some noise. Nobody from up north today. All right. And if you from the best side of the city, we already know the west side, make some noise. My bad. I forgot to do the east side this time. Anybody from the east side? Good.
What does the city look like through your eyes? Which part are you from? What's your favorite sports team? What's your favorite food spot? When you live in a city with such a rich culture and talented people, it's really hard to choose. It doesn't matter if you from out west, out south, over east, up north, or from the burbs. One thing we all have in common is that we love Chicago.
We got two great young men who actually are into fitness and exercise literally here today. So we're going to get ready to hear from them. These two young men, they're personally my friends, people that I know, grew up with, and we're going to hear from them and their stories and how they found their way to fitness and to exercising their gift. Our first guest is a social media influencer, fitness social media influencer. Now what's kind of crazy is he's been getting his buzz from things other than fitness, especially on TikTok, and received thousands of views, but just because he's funny, but he's also just a great person and is growing his business. Give it up for Daniel Buie, everybody. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good, good.
Good.
All right, so we're getting ready to jump right in. Tell us, how did you find your way to fitness?
So my journey began, well, first, can everybody hear me? Yeah. Okay, cool, just make sure. So my journey began my junior year of college. I was in a rough place. It all started with a heartbreak. I'm gonna be a little cliche with y'all. It started with a heartbreak, and I wasn't in the right state of mind. I wasn't eating right. I wasn't hitting the gym as consistently as I should have, and I would go to the gym every once in a while, but after that heartbreak, it clicked. After that point, I was like, I want to dedicate my energy towards something that can help me move forward in my life, and be better. I'm not gonna be stuck on this. So I decided, me and my boy, who got me training with him around that time period, started going to the gym consistently. We pushed ourselves. It was a journey. We're heavily influenced by a lot of people on social media, like, do this, do that. And, we were just like, oh, let's try that out. And we kind of played the game of working out in the gym, and just day and night, we would cut class to go to the gym. That's how dedicated we were. And, I would do whatever I can to try and go to the gym and get a good pump in. But, like, what I learned from that was just, there are lessons in the gym that you can relate to real life. I would beat myself up about not doing a certain thing right, and I realized, over time, that it's a process and it's gonna take time, and you're not gonna see the results right away. It's an investment on your body and your mental health and your emotional health, and it takes time to get there. And I'm still on that path, on that journey, but that's how I got started.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. You said that it's been a process and you've been sort of taking things slow. What has been one of the biggest challenges for you throughout your journey in fitness?
My journey in fitness, one of the toughest obstacles I would have is, I would say, body dysmorphia. I look in the mirror, it's just like, I feel like I'm doing all the right things in the gym, and I get home, I feel like I didn't do not a damn thing. I would lift for hours. Like, the max I would ever lift in the gym was probably 4 hours. Y'all probably looking at me like, that's absurd. But, a good healthy amount is like 2 to 3 hours, which I've come to learn that is the best amount. And, I would get to those amounts, and I just realize, I'm not where I want to be. But, there are a lot of people that have different genetics, that are in different paths in their lives, and I can't compare myself to other people. It's difficult, but I've gotten to that point where I'm me, I am who I am at the end of the day, and this is how I am, and I gotta love myself, and then I would see gradual growth, in which I have been, is through eating, and then also there's resting, and mental health, mental and emotional health definitely plays a role into that factor of how you move forward in your fitness journey. It's not just the physical and what you see. It's not just the visual and what you see. It's about the physical and how you feel and how you move forward and the steps that you take towards getting to that goal.
Now, Daniel said he has body dysmorphia, but this man is ripped. You hear me? So Daniel is actually my personal trainer. We work out together.
And is.
And so, Daniel does his daily pictures after the workout, and I see him on social media. And I just want to know, and then I look at myself, and I'm like, how long is it going to take for us to actually get there? Because I know you're saying it's slow, but how long does it take? So what has been something that helps keep you grounded in that moment? Because you know that the journey is slow and that it takes a long time sometimes. What has been something that's helped you keep you grounded and focused on what you're doing?
I would say, I had like I said, I started off with a friend. I would highly recommend starting your journey with someone, like a good gym partner, a girl or a man. It definitely helps you hold yourself accountable. That person's there to push you an extra rep that you think you probably couldn't even do. Because if you're on your own, you're like, that's it, I'm done. But like when you have that extra push by somebody, it helps you move a step further. And you realize like, oh, if I have this person with me and we consistently go through this journey together, we will see, great progress together. And like sometimes it's not always that way, to be, being realistic with people who don't always have that person to go to the gym with. But, in cases where I didn't have somebody, I would say just knowing that I'm trying to be better than the person that I am today. And whether if that's an extra rep or if it's going at a certain time, setting a specific schedule for myself, or being more, disciplined on myself to go to the gym at a certain time and lifting a certain amount of times, you know what I'm saying? So it's all about what you take from it.
So when we were kind of talking, when we met before today, you kind of talked about how going to the gym is kind of like your therapy, kind of like your place to clear your head. And then you said something but then you leave the gym and then you go face all of these realities in life. What are some of the realities that you face after you leave your place of comfort?
Well, life is full of mysteries and surprises. I would say just, working day to day, like a 9 to 5, bills, stress with family, relationships, your own, like battling your own mental health. Like, should I be where I should be, right? Where am I where I should be right now? And it's just a battle with yourself, a battle with the world, and a battle with your inner circle. Those are things that I typically face on a day to day after I go to the gym. It's just like all the noise stops when you're in the gym. And, it's not always a healthy go-to just to like brush it under the rug and just work out. Always take that time to consider your mental health, journal, meditate, digress after a long day's work of probably stressing, working, or talking to somebody. Like all that plays a role that can affect your performance in the gym. So, I'm not trying to make this all about, like the gym is so sacred, but when you're in the gym, it's a therapeutic place to be. It's a vulnerable place. You work out because you're frustrated. You want to look better. You want to be better. You want to be healthier. You're trying to set yourself up for the future so that you don't have all these problems later on in the future as you get older. So it's just coming to terms with those and understanding like things happen for a reason. Things are put in your path for a reason. And it may be like, you might sit down after the gym like, why is all this happening to me? But God puts things in your way because he knows you can handle it. And whatever you're praying for now, you may not be ready for in the future, and he's just preparing you for that moment. So which is, some of the realities I face. But I level myself and just tell myself, things are going to be okay. Things happen for a reason. And I take it day by day, and I don't rush the process. I just allow it to happen. I enjoy the grind. I enjoy the success. I enjoy the failures. Because those build character, and if you just look for just one specific thing out of what you're looking for, you may not, take in everything that you're supposed to be taking in that moment.
You see that calm and subtle tone he just did? Yeah, he switched it up on a. When I'm working out, one thing I appreciate about Daniel is that when you think about trainers, you think about somebody that's about to, hey, you better go get one more rep, do this, do this, do that. He's really calm but firm. So you be like, you good though, you doing good. You better hurry up, but you doing good. So I really appreciate that about you, because sometimes that pressure to feel like, hey, I just gotta go and I gotta do this, and I gotta do this extra rep and I gotta lift the heaviest weight in the gym. Daniel has really been teaching me that no, it's not about that. It takes time. And even if you lifting lighter, but you being consistent and you able to handle what you have, then you go over.
He's learning. You see that?
No, but I definitely appreciate. So what has been some of your outlets besides the gym? So you have, because you can't just live in the gym all day, every day. So after you leave the gym and you facing those realities, what have been some of the things that have helped you get back to the gym?
So I would definitely say, because like the point I made before, like you're not gonna live in the gym, realistically speaking. There's journaling, there's meditation, like self routines that you have at the house, like clean the house, clean the energy that you live in, because that energy plays a role or affects how you operate every day. Wash the dishes, clean your surroundings, and then spending time with family. Kind of getting away and escaping and being around positivity, people who you're familiar with. Getting into your hobbies that you love, like playing video games or watching movies or going for a walk. Just something simple, something subtle that things that you love to do that bring you to a calm point. So I would recommend that.
How long did it take you to kind of realize that, hey, I'm going to need some additional support and find some other outlets than just this? Because this is like what you kind of do. And are there also, actually, let's answer that question first.
Wait, repeat the question one more time. I apologize.
Yes, I'm sorry. How long did it take for you to realize that, hey, I'm going to need another outlet besides the gym?
Yeah, so there was a point in time where I would just rely on the gym heavily and just assume that this was my therapy. This was going to heal me from everything that I was going on, because I never took that step for myself. So my parents are traditional, like, you don't need therapy. It's not good. It's gonna pop up on your insurance. You're gonna come up as crazy. I eventually tiptoed into journaling. And started off with surrounding myself with people, and then came the gym. But it took me to the point where I started to break, and realize this is not working. Like I feel like I'm doing all the right things. I'm journaling. I'm doing all these things, but it wasn't enough. So it took me points to where I was breaking down and just crying not almost every night, but just often, to the point where it was just me releasing, and that it was healthy. But those it's because of the buildup that I would just stuff away from just going strictly to the gym and nothing more.
Thank you for sharing that. So, social media, because I know you training somebody physically in person is one thing. What makes you kind of want to say, hey, I want to take on this platform and do what I need to do and show people what I'm doing? What made you want to go to social media?
So, at first I started off with just following what everybody else was doing. I was following all the trends on TikTok and Instagram, and just kind of seeing what worked, just seeing like how I can get myself out there in some type of way, shape, or form. And as I progressed and I saw progress in myself and in what I was doing physically and visually in the gym, I decided, let me start posting like my pump pics, and videos, and try and make promo videos and stuff like that to kind of attract more traffic onto my pages and stuff like that. And my boy kind of motivated me, like, why don't you start personal training? And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of scared. Like, I thought you had to be a certain way, but over time I learned, because he taught me, we both learned from the ground up on how to train each other. So I was just like, why not? If we could teach each other, I could teach somebody else. And so I took that upon myself and, started, putting myself out there. And then I got, a question like, hey, do you train? And I'm like, yeah. I stepped up to the plate. I was like, yeah, I do. And, I had my first couple clients. I started off with like 2. And, that eventually grew. I'm like currently at like 5, 3 pending, so, and it's it was a great experience. It's a journey as I'm learning, people learning the business and, kind of just figuring out like what works for people and what's the best way to approach people. Because I come, like you stated, like as a trainer and as an entrepreneur, I come down on my clients in a way where it's graceful, but I hold you accountable on what it is that you need me to do. Because I didn't come to you, you came to me. And so God put me in your path for a reason, and I'm here to do what God blessed me to do. And so, which is heal you in some type of way, shape, or form. I see myself as a healer and putting myself in your path by healing you and helping you realize the potential that you have to move forward in your own journey. And then you spread my word around, and that's how it goes around.
Thank you, thank you. So you made the statement, going to the gym showed you what you were capable of doing. What has been one or some of the things that you learned that you were capable of doing?
So, there are times in the gym where I would push myself long hours. And, there was one day I kind of like sat down with my boy. I was like, if I'm able to sit in the gym and do this, mentally push myself to do these things, why can't, what stops me from doing this outside the gym? So it kind of gave me a mindset of like one more rep, or one more page to type, or stay up and try and get to this client, or make sure that my content is posted a particular way so that it attracts more people. Putting in that work that I put in the gym and relaying it to real life, because that one extra rep mentality outside of the gym can take you a longer way.
Yes, for sure. Because sometimes when we working out, what Daniel does is he said, all right, we about to do 10 to 12 reps, and then we get to 15, and I'm like, what are we doing? You said 10 to 12. So sometimes that extra rep has just showed me, hey, if you just do one more, you can keep going. So I definitely appreciate you doing that, and I appreciate you seeing the value in taking things step by step. Okay. So I do want us to get to some kind of practical questions, but I'm kind of going to say that for an end. So if you got any questions that you may have for Daniel, just about, when I made the first post, I said, come if you're trying to unbig your back. If y'all seen that, seen that saying that's been going around. So if you got any practical questions, think about that. But both of our guests really want to leave us with something today. And so Daniel is going to lead this next part where he's going to show us something that's been helping him in his journey through fitness and in life that we can kind of take with us as we go into life. So I'm going to pass it over to you.
Okay, all right, you guys are in good hands. Okay, so we often overlook the idea of breathing and meditation. We breathe every day. You guys are probably thinking, I breathe every day. What do you mean? Well, meditation is a different type of breathing. You control your breathing, you relax your body completely and try and clear your mind of all negativity and stress and anxiety. So today I'm going to have you guys close your eyes. You guys are okay. I'm not going to do anything weird. Close your eyes. And I want you guys to relax your bodies from head to toe. Your hands, the tightness in your chest from probably stress or anxiety from your days, your toes from walking or being on your feet all damn day. I want you guys just to totally relax and clear your minds. Now, I want you guys to take a deep breath in. Feel the air fill your chest up. Hold. Now release. Continue doing that breathing as I speak to you guys. Life is a journey, and it's a marathon, not a race. It's meant to take step by step. I understand that this world is full of mysteries, full of crazy things going on in this world, but God has us in his favor, and he's going to bless us day by day, whether he'll bless us in ways that you won't even expect him to. Appreciate it. You have a roof over your head. You guys are healthy. You guys are able to get here. You guys have family, friends, and you guys are going to make it. Whatever it is that everybody's going through in this room, you guys will make it. You guys will persevere. In the name of Jesus, Lord, I pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. Well, I didn't know we was about to go into a sermon. But thank you, Daniel. Thank you for sometimes taking that time is important. We do that at work. Shout out to Ms. Dino in the building, who helps us just with our breathing and, reminding us to take that time because you need to release. We encounter so many things every day, and I know we program just to say, okay, I'm going to take it on the chin. But it's real. What I've been learning this year is that it's really hard for you to pursue your passion, your purpose, and your gift when you got everything up here. And so sometimes you just gotta release whatever that is, the stress, so that you are better able to focus on you and exercising your gift. So, Daniel, thank you for being courageous and coming up here and sharing your story. Everybody give Daniel a round.
Thank you for having me, y'all. Thank you.
Oh. Yeah, we're gonna do all the questions for both of them because you may want to ask both of them the questions instead of one. Make sure you all follow Daniel on social media at hollow_fitness. Check out his content, of course. Next up, we keeping everything going. We have Isaiah Porter. Isaiah. All right, Isaiah is my little brother. We went to the same elementary school, and now he's going on to doing big things, has his own fitness called GOAT Fitness, and I'm going to let him talk about it in a second. But when you talk about somebody that's young and focused, Isaiah is just focused and determined and passionate and just so filled with love. Every time he encounters somebody, it's nothing but love. So I'm super excited. And he's in school, y'all. He came to Chicago, not just for me, of course, but he came here to be on this show, and I'm so grateful to have you, and I'm excited for all the light that you're going to continue to share in this world. But tell us about GOAT Fitness. What is GOAT Fitness?
Okay, before we start, I want to do the stretch.
Okay.
So everybody don't mind getting up out their seats, just get something going. You wanna
Y'all
take
ate
your jacket off,
too
you
much
can.
macaroni and cheese.
I know
sorry.
we all looking like money, but we gotta feel like money. So we're gonna start off just a quick stretch. So all we doing right over left, just like this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch. 5,
I heard some
4,
bones cracking.
3, 2, 1. Now we're going right arm behind the back and pull down with the other hand. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch. I hear we breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now last one, twist it out. Nice and slow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Everybody clap it up for themselves. Good job. Now we sit back down.
All right.
Okay, so a little bit about Go Fitness. So I started Go Fitness back in 2020, 2019, around COVID. So I was in the gym during COVID like every day, and my friends and peers was like, how are you even in the gym with all going on? So everybody wanted to work out with me, and I never thought about training people until it was the one day where actually, like an auntie of mine, she was like, can you just come train me? And I never thought anything about it until I actually seen she was setting the blueprint to something. So she was like, yeah, can you come train me? I'm like, okay, I'll just do it for free. I'll just work out with you. So every like 3 days a week, we had trained in her basement. So we had trained in her basement. We was training for like 4 months. And I never really took it serious until like the mid-month. I'm like, I can actually do this. Like, this is something I can actually, and I'm willing to do. And so ever since then, I've just been taking off, trying to provide more, trying to learn more, so I could just do more. And that's how it started.
All right. So both I guess have kind of said that you just, when you're on the right path or when you on that path, things are kind of presented towards you. And so sometimes you just got to go through it, accomplish it. So I appreciate you for sharing that as well. So I think it's like the tagline of Go Fitness is physical and mental training. And you are really big on the mental training. So tell me about what is your method for tackling mental training? How do you train someone mentally?
Mentally, I always put affirmations into them. So like, I got a thing over here when I train or when everybody around me, they know we don't say I won't, I can't. Like, we don't say things like that because that's automatically 25 push-ups. So we gonna take that out of our vocabulary because anything is possible as long as we put our mind to it.
Yes, it is.
Like I tell people, even my friends, I'm like the same way you'll go outside and drink, turn up, party, get in that gym and go work out. So it's all about what we want to put our mind to. We'll do it. So as long as we put our mind to the right things, then the right things gonna come back.
All right. See, I'm scared of Isaiah.
What you mean?
I don't know if I should train with Isaiah because I need the calm. Because
Yeah,
I'm a little scared. No, I'm just playing. But you need that push. That push is so important. So why do you think mental training is important? Which one do you think is more important, the physical training or the mental training?
Mental. I would say mental because if you can like see something in you, then you can be it. So once you believe that you can do something, then it's nothing in your way of stopping you to telling you that you can't do it. So like, I believe I can lift 45 pounds. Now once I start believing, now I'm gonna work toward actually doing it. Now once I start actually doing it, then I'm starting to doing it, then it happened. So like, it's all about what you believe. What you believe is very important.
Where do the results of mental training show up most for you?
I would say really every day. Because I always tell myself I can do this, like I can do that, and one day I'll do this and do that, and then opportunities just come like out the blue. Like I always say to myself, like even being on the show, I'm like, I'm gonna be on the show one day just talking and stuff, and then you present the opportunity to me. So it's just all about like having faith, really. Like once you have faith and you just like trusting in God, then he's just gonna deliver for you every time. So my faith is definitely like,
Okay. So you're talking about faith and how that's a strong source for you. You also talk a lot about some of your inspirations for doing what you do. Who or what are some of your inspirations?
I say my first inspiration. I gotta give it to my mama. See, I know she gonna, yeah, but I gotta.
Y'all can give it up for mama.
Yeah, so just like just seeing her like strive and just hustle, like that's like give me a drive. Like ever since I was kids, she always put us through something. Like she was gonna put us through a club, an activity, tournament or something. And not only was she doing that, but she was there, like on top of her doing her own stuff and just showing us like, if you want something out of life, you gotta work for it. Ain't nothing gonna come handed to you. So you gotta go out there and get it to you. So that'll be my first inspiration, and then my second one, I had to say myself because like, I don't know, a lot of people don't give it up to themselves. Like I just feel like you said, I'm young, I'm goal driven, and I'm on the right path. I know what I want out of life. So just because I know what I want out of life, I'm gonna go get it. Like, I'm not gonna wait on it. And like I don't see that in a lot of people, especially my age, like in a lot of people my age and group. So I don't see that in a lot of people. So I'm like, you got to give it to yourself sometime.
And that was exactly what I was trying to kind of get at, because it's hard when you are trying to do the right thing. I say this all the time, and I got to bring up my mama too. Every time I tried to do something wrong, I got caught. It never failed. and she beat me like she's doing right now. But every time I tried to do something, I got caught. But to be now as an adult, I understand why she was drilling every single thing she did in me, because she wanted to make sure I was on the right path, and it shows up now. So now being in this moment is tough. And you kind of like, who do I look to for somebody that can inspire me? Because like you said, you can see everybody doing this or everybody doing that. And it's hard for you to stay focused when you are so great. So I think it's dope. At what point did you realize that you was a source of inspiration?
It really started back as a kid. Like, I was telling my mama the story the other day. We'd be in church, and like the pastor daughter would be like, every time she'd be like, Pastor, what's the word today? And I just come out with something crazy, like not knowing what I'm talking about, and I just say that, and then she'd just be hyping me up every Sunday. And I'm like, every Sunday I was looking forward to that. But I never thought of it about like, I'm like, this ain't big or nothing. And then as we go on time to time, I'm always talking to my friends, and they listening to me. I'm like, yeah, you should do this and that. I'm like, nah, that ain't really for me. I ain't no real social media guy. Like, I'm not, that's not me. And then as I really started to like see the impact I had on people, I'm like, oh, so this is. So that's when I'm like, you might as well just, you won't know how high you can jump if you don't jump. So I'm like, just go ahead and do it. Just try it.
All right. And so, thinking about you and powerful stories, you also have another powerful story just about one of your experiences and when you had a knee injury. Do you mind sharing with us about that?
So yeah, back in 2021, I believe. Yeah, 2021, January 26, 2021. It was 2 days after my birthday. I was playing basketball, and I was in like, it was like a real big game. And I actually had fractured my patella, like during the game. I like came down wrong, and you just heard a pop. And it was like late game, which I actually finished the game and everything. I just like went in, went a second, but my adrenaline was rushing too, so I didn't really feel anything. But went in, and I actually didn't find out that my knee was broke until like a week later. So I was still practicing, doing everything else, but it was feeling weird. So I'm like, I was sitting out, but I was still running and going back and forth. And when I went to the doctor, he was like, yeah, you fractured your patella. And he was like, it's two ways. He said it was either surgery or go through the physical therapy. But he said the physical therapy might not always work. And me, I'm like, oh, he not cutting up on me. Like, he ain't cutting me. That ain't gonna happen. Right. I ain't want the surgery. But I'm like, I didn't really know too much about it anyway. But and still in the back of my head was physical therapy might not work because you may need this procedure done. So that's when I really started to know, like, you got to trust in God and, like, see what he want for you. Because I didn't really want to have a surgery, and I was praying until it was just one day, it was just like, just go ahead and get the procedure done, you'll be fine. Now, with this procedure, he was telling me, like, it's a possibility that you will never be 100% again. He said you would never be, like, fully running, you would never be fully doing this, you probably won't be able to play football and stuff like that. And football was, like, my thing. I've been playing football since I was 4, so for you to tell me I can't play something that I actually, like, I live, right? It was critical. So I just made a birthday video saying, like, the same thing, but it was showing me running because he said you would never be able to run, you would never be able to do this, you would never be able to do that. So senior year of high school, I was the captain of the varsity football team. And then not too long ago, I was just running. Now I'm training. Now I'm starting back to get into having a potential internship with the strength and conditioning team at my school. So it's like all the barriers that was like put against me, I just like ran through them. Like, yeah, so that's it.
Give it up for that. And y'all, feel free to make noise, to clap. We engage with each other in this show, so feel free to connect. Because people, when you sharing stuff like this, like, people need that, support. What was your first word? You said affirmation. You started with an affirmation. When you're going through things in life and you have all of this, and sometimes it seems like you're in silo, you need people to affirm you and say, hey, I see you doing good. So definitely feel free to, do that, to share and to celebrate and to support, because that's what we're here for. Thinking about your future, you in U of I, you still got a lot of life left. You're a young man. So what is your goal, your ultimate goal, where you're trying to be with fitness, or what do you want to do?
Keep making an impact, Like, I feel like you reach one, you teach one. So I want to keep making an impact, not just like, in Chicago, which I got to start here first with people, but I want to also reach people globally, nationally. Like, I want to just keep making an impact, especially with my fitness, just offering, like, people opportunities, jobs, just offering them knowledge, letting them know about fitness, letting them know that. So I actually want to go on a tour, like a fitness tour, just doing different classes and things. So as I build my program and build stuff that I want to go on, that's actually something that I want to, do.
Excellent, excellent. Speaking about building, you got anything coming up with GOAT Fitness? Anything you looking to share?
I'm going to start summer classes, so I'm actually getting that together. It's going to be outside summer classes with music, live music. Going to be some in the morning, some like in the evening, but I like to keep it morning because I'm like a morning guy. So I like to get it out the way and do that.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we thank you so much for sharing your story, for taking time to be here with us. We really appreciate you and Daniel. So we're getting ready to invite Daniel back up. But we just want to thank you again for sharing your story. Give it up for Isaiah, everybody. All right. So next up, we're about to get into the question portion for our guests. But after that, we do have some activities that we want. I have an activity that I want to do with you all this episode. So I'm going to invite Daniel back, and feel free to ask questions. I could kind of walk around with one of the microphones and make sure we connect with everybody. Give it up for Daniel. All right, I'm going to do the first question. How do I get a six-pack? Anybody want to? Who want to share?
You want to unbig your back, all you got to do is get in with me.
All right.
So you got to, you got to just train with me. But no, it's really the dieting. So the working out, like, and getting a good six-pack is really like 85% diet, 15% working out. Because we can work out every day, 7 days a week, 24/7. And if we eating right, it's useless. If we eating wrong, it's useless. So you got to really just eat right. You got to know what to eat. Like, a lot of people do calorie deficit. Like, I don't really do that. I just eat right. But I feel like if I do that, it probably will turn my body up more. But it's all about eating right and what you're eating.
You want to answer? If you want to.
Stole my words. Okay. Yeah, it's really about the diet, and I would say good amount of cardio as well, burning, the body, and letting the fat burn, like along those lines, something like that.
Okay. Who else from the audience got questions? Do you want to be on camera? Or you? Oh, you don't have to be. I'm just.
Yeah, I hate cardio, but I be trying to knock out the Stairmaster for 30 minutes. But is there any other cardio you guys would recommend? I mix in with it because that does get a little tiring after a while. Like, I gotta go hit these stairs real quick.
There's the bike. There's HIIT workouts, which he does. I'm working on getting into, but HIIT works a lot. Revolves a lot around of like body weight workouts and stuff like that. That helps with the core.
So HIIT is high intensity cardio. So I teach HIIT classes, which is range from 30 minutes, quick classes, but it's very efficient. So it's really no breaks in it. You probably get like a 10-second break like I give my clients between different circuits, but it's just full straight going through it. Now what I do like at school, I walk to a lot of my classes. So I got a real big like campus, so that's a good thing. A cardio if you want to just walk more, walk around the track. Cause I can't like get on the Stairmaster for 30 minutes myself and do it. I have to be like constantly active. Like I can't stand on the treadmill for an hour. I can't do that myself, so I won't tell nobody else to do it.
One thing that I recently, I've been trying to work. Me and Daniel been training for a while, and I'm really trying to get to my core, make my core stronger. And I've been looking at like what are some of the best forms of cardio. And what a lot of people say is walking. They said trying to figure out how to incorporate more walking into your day because they realize that you are not about to get on that treadmill and run real fast every time. So if you want to healthily kind of burn that fat, you should probably incorporate more walking into your diet. Into your day. So I'm just throwing that out there too. Also, I got another question. What should your diet kind of consist of if you are working out? What are some things that you should eat?
Every meal, I like to have a veggie on my plate. So recently I went vegan, so I don't eat no meat at all. So all my stuff is really plant-based, vegetables, and it's about your protein intake too. So every meal should probably be around 20 to 30 protein, 20 grams of protein. So your protein is very key with you losing weight as well.
I would recommend having a colorful plate, fruits, vegetables, try and keep it as colorful as possible. Try and stay away from processed foods, really pay attention. There's apps that you can download that kind of when you go to the grocery store, you can scan and let you know what's good for you and what's actually bad for you because they advertise a lot of things that are good for you, which are terrible for you. I used to go get groceries today, and there are a lot of things in the grocery store that they advertise that are actually terrible for you. So watch out for those things. Colorful plate, fruits, vegetables, fish, pasta, rice, along those lines, carbs, all those things.
Okay. 1 second. I'm coming over to you.
So I saw this thing on social media that was saying like protein turns into sugar eventually. So like, should you have a protein shake like after every workout, or do y'all not recommend protein shakes and just like eat your protein kind of thing?
Well, I'm still on that journey of researching because I feel like it all plays into your genetics. Because if you have a certain type of genetics where you struggle to lose weight or to gain, that plays a role as well. But I would recommend a protein shake probably at some point before a meal. So like it goes down properly along with the foods that you're intaking.
Every meal that you eat, everything that you eat has sugar in it. So like, it's gonna be sugar in everything you eat. It's just more how much you consume. So protein shakes after a workout is pretty good, especially if you need to hit your calorie deficit. But everything that you eat has sugar in it, like even chicken and everything.
All right, we got another question.
Yeah, just with like, social media being where most of us get our information from, what are like some of the big myths around whether it's nutrition or fitness that you guys see on social media that you're like, people should not be doing this?
So there are a lot of bodybuilders that are just advertised like, if you eat enough protein, you do enough of this and that, you'll get to where I'm at. No, that is a lie. You need steroids to get to that point. I swear, because I've bulked, I've ate nasty bulked, meaning just eating whatever I can get my hands on and gaining weight. And then there's lean bulking where you eat, fish, chicken, lean types of protein and intaking those things in order for you to kind of slim down, but still having the same workout routine. So yeah, so we're doing all the protein stuff and trying to get to like a buff point, like if you're getting ready to compete like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like that is steroids right there. That is false. And there are different forms of pre-workout. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. It's new now on the market, and there are natural ways of intaking, a form of pre-workout. There's ginger, that's a stimulant that wakes you up. Try that out. Highly recommend that. I try that. There's chocolate milk. There's apples. Things that are like tangy fruits. Fruits are good intakes of pre-workout. Candies, certain candies. Sour straws are good. It's not as heavy as a powder. People dry scoop, and that is terrible on your insides and your liver and all of those things in your kidneys, most especially.
All right, let me run again.
Yeah, appreciate everything y'all shared today. Let's say like I'm really inspired by what y'all are saying, and tomorrow I want to start my fitness journey. What's something you would recommend, like a 10 or 15-minute routine that you could do every day, like for starters?
How we was doing stretching. Stretching would be something good. Just having a clear mind. Make sure you hydrated before. Make sure you at least had something in your body. Because I preferably like to don't eat before I work out, but sometimes it's needed for everybody. So stretching and having a clear mind and just getting ready to work out would be something good for you to do.
I would say if you're just beginning, just keep in mind that form is most important. You can lift the heaviest weight ever. You see all those ego lifters that just be lifting stuff at Planet Fitness, their form looks totally off. Like, you're not going to get nowhere doing that. I would say start off light, focus on your form, get the form right. And once you get that groove going, it's a muscle memory that your body picks up on. And the heavier weight that you go, you'll teach your body, like, this is what I'm doing. And the heavier the weight, the more gains you'll get. And I would say, have rest days. Don't work out every day, because think of your body as a brain. You need to let it process whatever it is that you're putting it through. Take breaks, rest breaks, hydration, feeding it the right things. And also keep in mind, like I said, make sure your mental is okay too as well, because that plays a role in your performance in the gym too as well.
Now, that was like the best thing Daniel told me when we started working out. He said you got to rest. So I try to take like 5 days in between going to the gym. Because I really need to make sure my body recovers. And so when I do that, I feel great. But one thing you mentioned about making sure you got the right form and breathing. How should you breathe when you are doing an exercise? Either one of you can answer.
So it depends the movement. So say if you're doing, for example, a bench press, I would say inhale as you're going down, exhale as you're going up. So let me give you an example. You see how when you're at the bottom, you just push out that breath as you go to the top. Control the breathing because you're not letting any oxygen get to your brain or the rest of your body. And if you hold that breath in, you're probably going to pull a muscle or hurt yourself in some type of way, shape, or form. Control the workout. The workout doesn't control you.
All right, I'm gonna ask this question because maybe somebody's scared to ask this. If I'm trying to get a booty, do I need to work out? Do I need to eat more? What do I need to do? If I'm trying to get thick, tell me what I gotta do.
So, okay. Because I got one, I grew. I got one, I ain't gonna hold you. So it's, the way I interpret it is you gotta lift heavy, especially when it comes to, if you're trying to gain down there, you gotta think about it like you're trying to swell up a certain, like you know how you hit a certain part of your body and it swells up, you gotta continue hitting that part of the muscle, part of your body in order for it to grow. And also eating plays a role as well, eating certain types of foods throughout the day. It's all about the intake and the amount of portions that you eat throughout the day. And, you know, so yeah, go heavy on glutes, squeeze, control the reps. Don't just do quick. You could actually pull yourself, hurt something on yourself, and just take your time with those.
Okay, so I got a big stomach. I don't want to do sit-ups because it's bad on the back, and it's just going to turn my gut into a big muscle. What do you recommend in terms of losing belly fat?
There are there's like we mentioned before, different forms of cardio. There's walking, there's the bicycle, there's the treadmill. Inclining the treadmill, walking at a fast pace but slowing down. I recommend doing this always works. I always kill Charles with this: a 5-minute mile. Start at a fast pace for 5 minutes, and however long it takes for you to get to that point. But once you hit a mile, lower down like 3 levels and continue the rest of the 5 minutes. And you'll feel the difference. And also, there's throughout every workout, you technically use core because you need your core for everything. So if you tighten your core up throughout most of your workouts, you'll see a gradual difference over time. And yeah, and also your diet as well, and a lot of water intake. No problem.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna have to wait. So how we talked about mental with fitness. How do you empower your discipline? So I called myself trying to do a fast this weekend, and I was good. I made my juice. I was on it. Then my supervisor said, SD, we eating pizza today. And I ate the damn pizza. So how do you stay disciplined? Like, what's ways that you can empower yourself? Because you have to do more than just think it, How do you really just embody it?
So there is a quote that I told Charlie before that kind of changed his interpretation on everything. Ever since I told him this, he's been locked in ever since. It's a poem, or it's not a poem. It's a quote from a G.I. Jane movie. The quote goes, "Pain is your friend, your ally. It'll tell you when you're seriously injured. It'll keep you awake and angry, remind you to finish the job and get the hell home. You know what the best thing about pain is? It lets you know you're not dead yet." This is a little blunt, but it lets you know that, pain is part of the grind. And if you learn to be friends with it in the right way, obviously there's a sharp pain like, ow, I need to go to the hospital, but there's a pain that, you've never felt before, but it helps you, put you in a better place. That's in life, that's physically, and that's emotionally. It's growth. Obviously, something new is not always gonna feel nice. And so discipline, it's like, what do you have to lose if what will I gain from this if I eat that pizza or if I eat this piece of candy, even though I promised myself that I'm not going, I have goals for myself. It's a journey, trust me. It's mental and it takes time to grow over time, but really think about it, like, what will I gain from this? And I would say start off in portions. Like, you're not gonna grow in just one day. Take time, baby steps. Like, set yourself realistic goals for yourself in your journal, however it is that you plan for yourself. Meditate and tell yourself, all this week, I'm gonna do this. and make sure you hold yourself accountable every day. Take it day by day, because it is a marathon, not a race. Because if you look at it from such a wide spectrum, you're going to become overwhelmed and probably trick yourself out and end up cheating on yourself. And we don't need that. So there you go.
Well, back to you saying about time. I value my time, meaning I'm not gonna sit all this time here in the gym like I was saying just to go eat something bad and to just lose all my results. It's like an investment. So think about your body like an investment. You make good investment, you make bad investment. Now, a good investment is you getting this property, you bought this property, now you working on it, you putting the money into it, you putting the funding in it, and it's going to excel. Now, a bad investment, you getting this property and just letting it sit, not doing nothing with it and just wanting it to make money for you, but you're not putting into it. So you got to pour into yourself. So you got to pour the right things into yourself. So pouring the right things is just not eating bad, doing stuff that's going to keep you uplifted, doing stuff that's going to keep you positive. And another thing, I just don't really like want my back to get big. So that's how I be thinking. Like, I'll come out for real, because I had a coach, like, he was so big, and he was telling me, like, yeah, you know, in a couple of years, you're going to look like this. And that just played in the back of my head every day. Like, and I say, I can never look like that.
So a question I have is, when you're at the gym and it's kind of those body weight exercises, like I kind of struggle mentally with making myself do that. I'm working on it now, but when I was first going to the gym, I was consistent with it, but I just refused to do those, like dips, pull-ups, because I feel like it can be a little embarrassing when you move your own body weight and then trying to like, oh yeah, I'm about to fall because I can't do it. Like, how do you get past that?
So I would say, because that is one of the most biggest challenges most people have in the gym, not even being able to lift their own body weight, and it's normal and it's okay. It takes time to get to that point. I would say start off with, small little workouts that can help you get to those points. So like I would say, dips, use the back and triceps. So I would say, hit some tricep workouts like some skull crushers or, a seated tricep extension machine, just little steps like that to help you get closer and closer to your goal. It takes time because I wasn't able to lift my own body weight or bench that. But like I got to that point through repetition and continuously going to the gym. Like, it's a mindset. It's hard, but you'll get there when it's time for you to get there. Don't rush it because you can end up hurting yourself and then you set yourself back further from where you're trying to get to.
So doing little things just like planks if you want to, but you want to start off small. So start off 10 seconds, 5-second rest. You feel like you graduate from there, start off 20 seconds, 5-second rest. Feel like you graduated, start off 30 seconds, 5-second rest. But you want to just start small, because a lot of people can lift like weight, like thousands of pounds, this and that, but nobody can lift themselves up. So once you master lifting yourself up, it's just gonna be real good for you. I think.
All right, everybody, give Daniel and Isaiah a round of applause.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all.
All right, y'all learned something today? All right, excellent. So, like I said at the beginning of the show, I do have one thing that I wanted to do with you all personally and for the show. So we talked about knowing your purpose last season. And this season, we want to make sure that we focus on actually exercising our gift, putting into fruition the things that we want to do it, working at it, right? It's a marathon, not a race, okay? So maybe you need to you can't eat 5 pieces of pizza, you can eat 2, you know what I'm saying? All right, so under your seat or wherever you are, there is a piece of paper and a marker. And if you are by some extra ones and the people around you don't have them, I want you to give it to them. Okay. And if for some reason you don't have one because it's just not one near you, you could take out the Notes app on your phone and you could do the same thing. But I want this to be somewhere that you can keep it, somewhere that you could think about it and access it when you need to. So, I would like you to take a moment and I want you to first write, what is your gift? Whatever you think your gift is, and if you're still figuring it out, that's fine, right? I'm still figuring it out. But I want you to think about, what is my gift? What is that thing that I've been working on? What is the thing that I want to get better at? What is the thing that I dream about every night, that I think about every night, that I've been trying to access, that's been deep inside of me? The thing that I may be thinking about, but I don't think that's it. That's it. Write that gift down. We must have did our work last season. Y'all writing for real, for real. Okay, good. I like to see it. All right, and so under that, I want you to think about one thing. How do I want to exercise this gift for the remainder of the year? What is one thing that I can do to exercise this gift from the remainder of the year? And I want you to keep this somewhere that you can see it. Maybe on your dresser next to your boo or something. Where that you can look at it and meditate every night. Because it's important. What you have inside of you is so important. And you never know who you're going to reach by you doing what's inside of you. So I really want you to think about it. And if you don't know, make it a goal that I'm going to figure it out by the end of this year. Okay? Sometimes you just got to get some things into the atmosphere and say them. If anybody wants to share, I'm inviting you to share now. But if you don't, you can just keep it inside. Keep it on your card. It's just between you. Does anybody want to share anything? Okay.
One thing I put down was business sense, and then like a will to improve. And the way I'm going to do that is by opening my high yield savings account finally. And this is basically aligning with the goal to buy a house within the next year. So, yeah.
We just need that account number. When you get that account number, let me know. Anybody else? Thank you for sharing that and feeling brave. Dang.
So, you want me to say what I think my thing is?
Whatever you want to
Okay.
share. You don't have to, whatever you feel.
Okay. So I said my gift is, to heal and to, spread that, healing, ability to others who I love or who I encounter in my life. And I said, like, my goal would be to, try and be better in all those aspects, where if it's in my business, take steps further to, like, learn more new things so I can better my business. Or in my personal life, better certain things about myself so that I can grow and the people around me can grow, or I can move a step further in a relationship with somebody, and then with myself, heal myself and to take those steps and to understand myself and give myself grace for the things that I have accomplished, because I am here and I am the better person who I was yesterday, and I'm alive and I'm taking the steps that most people around my age probably wouldn't or don't have the guts to.
Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else?
I said my gift was making an impact on the next generation and teaching others the beauty of growth through struggle.
All my educators in the building, make some noise. Woo-hoo. All right. It's only a few of us. But shout out to us, because y'all don't know. All right, I'm not about to talk about the kids. But just know we be going through it Monday through Friday, all right? Anybody else? Me? My gift is, this is one thing that I've really been thinking about. Because last year and years before this, I was so focused on trying to help others reach their gift that I was kind of watering myself down. And my purpose is to reach my fullest God-given potential first, so that I'm able to be at the most capacity for myself to help other people. So I'm trying to go after CQ this year. Big CQ, not the little one. I'm coming after everything that God has placed inside of me, and I'm doing it vigorously. And I'm standing on business. So that's what I'm doing this year for me. All right. So I'm about to get into some thank yous. I do this every time because you got to give people their flowers while they're here. First and foremost, I want to thank God just for guiding me and showing me how I can be able to use my gift and leverage it to access others and help others reach their gifts in life. So I got to give it up to him. Secondly, I have to give it up to my fiance, Kelsey. She is just my sounding board, my rock. She deals with me acting crazy before I come here every single time, every single day of the week. So thank you so much for you. I love you. Thank you. I got to thank my parents and my family. My Auntie Wendy, she was at the door making sure y'all was coming in. The rest of the team, Richard, Ish, thank you all. I mean, they just my brothers, like for real. They just come in, make sure whatever they need to do, they figure it out. Like, that's just what they do. So I appreciate y'all and everything that y'all do. Got to give it up to Alexis Gilmore. She's in the building. She's Love Chicago's graphic designer. All of the beautiful graphics that you see, Alexis tackles those, and sometimes I mess them up and try to do stuff. But she's amazing. Thank you. Shout out to Zach. Give it up for Zach, y'all. Zach stepped in today and did our sound, and I really appreciate it. Shout out to the caterer, Split in Half Catering. We called them this morning because, yeah, I was just last minute, y'all. It's rough out here. Shout out to them. And then shout out to our guests. Thank you all for being brave and sharing your stories and everything that you guys have shared with us. We really appreciate it, and thank you for being who you are in this world, not just here today, but who you are when you leave here, and being able to represent you and yourselves personally. And then I forgot to do this at the beginning. Anytime we got some story guests in the building, that means people who have been on Love Chicago, we have to make sure we shout them out. Shout out to Corey Dooley right there. Corey Dooley, he was our story 4 guest. Sorry, Lord. He was one of our guests on the show, and he is Mr. Westside for real. He's in the community, helping people, adults, helping businesses come to the community community of Austin, helping contribute to the food disparity, not contributing to the food disparity, but eliminating the food disparity. Thank you for all that you do and all that you do for the community. Obviously, Mr. Icy Band's the real rap man right there. Story 1, the first ever guest of Love Chicago. And then last but not least, y'all are my family. Like I was telling Daniel and Isaiah before you got here, literally, I said this is going to be nothing but family in here today. Without y'all, this wouldn't happen. Every time I hear that email thing to say you got a notification, it just makes me so happy. Like, because I really love y'all, and to have people that just support you, I ain't gonna cry, I'm not crying. To have people that just support you, it really means the world. So I'm just very, very grateful for y'all. I love y'all. And thank you. It don't matter if you're from up north, over east, out west, out south, or from the birds. One thing we all have in common is that we love Chicago.
Reese on the beat.